Let's play it. This is a new track you just dropped.
Yeah.
When did this come out? Because it says 2022, right?
Yeah.
That was 2021, but you know.
We all gonna die, but only some of us
Yeah.
live. I hope my girl know that I would give her my rib. And when I'm gone,
Who,
please
produced
play
this?
this song for the kids.
This is DJ
And when
J
I'm
Hart.
gone,
Oh, JR produces?
Yeah.
Word. Okay.
I work with him a lot.
They only love you
Yeah,
when
this shit's
you
hard, bro.
underground.
Thank you.
They only love you when you underground.
Where you record this at? At the same studio you guys do the podcast?
They only
Yeah.
love
Okay,
So
you
it's
when
like,
you
you know, Flux
underground.
Studios.
Flex Studios. Flux.
It's like on Avenue A and 2nd Street.
Okay, no, I'm not familiar.
So there's like fancy ass studios upstairs, and then downstairs there's like the basement rooms.
Yeah.
And so he's got the basement room every Friday, I think.
Okay, word. Hell yeah. Well, Aaron Cohen, man, welcome to the Bout Whatever podcast, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the journey, man. That's a trip from Upper West Side to come down. But we've been talking about doing this for a long time, and then the pandemic came, and things got a little crazy, hectic.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure,
Good to
man.
get out of the Upper West Side every once in a while.
Yeah, when's the last time you've been to Brooklyn?
I don't know, man. With everything on
Right.
Zoom.
Yeah, it's so crazy. The same thing. I'm like, damn, I can't even really remember the last time I went to the city. But like, it's like when you live in other boroughs, you never go. You know?
During the summer, I was coming here a lot
Yeah,
because I was riding my bike and I come across the bridge and hang out with friends, but
yeah.
I'm not doing that right now.
Word. Yeah, so I wanna take it back to like a little bit of the beginning because we've known each other through mutual friends, like on and off for I don't even know, man. Since like I went to Brooklyn College, so I met all of which we'll get into earlier, like the inner city or later the inner city kids stuff. But you're from Seattle, right?
From Seattle
Yeah.
originally, yeah.
And but grew up in Queens.
No, I grew up in Seattle.
Okay.
And then I came to Queens after high school,
After high school.
and I went to Queens College.
Okay, word. And what was like? Tell me about that like introduction to the city from Seattle. What was that like when you came out here?
But when I first came here, I actually moved in with this friend who grew up like on my street in Seattle.
Okay.
He was like the only person I knew besides my sister who was in like the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
Which was out of my, price range at the time. So I moved in with him in Rockaway.
Damn.
Because I didn't know. I was just like, Queens, like that's where
Yeah.
Nas is from or whatever. I was
Yeah.
like, Queens, cool. And it was terrible, man. It
Yeah.
was like an hour and a half to get into the city.
Oh man, I bet, dude.
So I lived there for 3 months, and then I was like, I'm not doing this, and I moved to Sunnyside
Yeah.
with some other friends.
Okay, word.
I was there I've lived everywhere in Queens. I lived in Sunnyside, Woodside, Ridgewood, right around here.
Yeah.
Rockaway, Fresh Meadows, Whitestone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's like you're lucky though to have like some people, some people move to the city and they have like nobody that they know and it's just like a real fresh start. It's lucky that you came here and you kind of had somebody that you could kind of rock with and get like acclimated to the new lifestyle of the city. Were you making music in high school before you came out here for college?
No. I mean, I always rapped. Like, my friends knew I could rap.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'd be like, yo, Aaron, rap,
Yeah.
Or I would, like, when I was a kid, when I was in, like, grade school, I used to take my tape recorder into the bathroom and take my sister's boombox. You know what I mean? I made, like, my own little bootleg mixtape. So I, like, knew that I wanted to do it, but I never knew anybody who was a rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I
Were
mean?
you? Did you? I don't know if we talked about it on this last episode with my boy Brazzi or if it was another episode. But my boy Brazzi was the last episode. He's a rapper. He's signed to Suburban Noise Records.
Yeah, I followed him after I saw the.
Yeah, he's dope. He's cool, man.
Yeah,
He's a super cool dude.
I saw that last video.
Yeah, it's cool. And we were talking about like having like rap crews because I used to fuck around and rap with my friends too, like in middle school and high school and shit, even a little bit in college. But like, did you ever have like a rap group in middle school or high school that you guys were like kind of just rolling around? Just
I only have like a few high school rap experiences, but I'll tell you about them.
tell me about it, man.
So I grew up. So I'm Jewish, and like my whole neighborhood was like Jewish Orthodox kids. Like that's how I was raised. Like,
yeah.
Religious. And like when we started smoking weed when we were like 14, 15, we'd like walk down the hill and like try and find weed,
Yeah.
like out of our neighborhood. And so used to buy weed from this guy named Jesse.
Yeah, tell me about the weed guy that you got. Tell me, what was this guy like?
This is my first public rapping experience, really.
Okay.
Because Jesse, one time, he was one of those, he was like the most stereotypical like weed dealer.
Yeah.
You know, like takes his fucking time.
Always wants to hang out.
Yeah. But like he would like rip us off and like take his time.
Yeah.
And we weren't really hanging out. We're kind of just like waiting.
Yeah.
You know? Like he's not like employable. He's not like a responsible person. Right?
Yeah.
So I went in there and I remember, first of all, I remember he had like a gun on the table. So I was already.
And this is another Jewish kid. Like Jewish kid from the neighborhood. Oh, okay.
So
I'm like, damn, bro, he's out here doing his thing. All right.
No, not Jewish. He had a gun. Not that I know of. And he like, which to me like made me mad uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not, I don't want to be around this gun. So anyways, but he had a booth that he had just like built with, you know, dime bag money or whatever he did. And I was just kind of like, got up to there to be like, oh, I rap. And he's like, oh yeah?
I'll give you this free bag.
So he sent, like he always used to rip us off, and then he sent me into the booth. And I started rapping him. Obviously, like I'm pretty nice at rapping.
Did it have like the cup holders on the wall and shit for soundproofing?
I don't remember. It's like damn near 20 years ago. So I did it, and he was just like, he's like, you come back here. We're gonna make money together. We're gonna get money.
Yeah.
And like I had the sense at that time to know that was not gonna be my business partner moving forward. But like I felt like I had somewhat arrived.
Yeah.
I was like, well, the drug dealers know I got it.
Do you happen to remember some of your bars from that time, the shit that you were rapping about?
That was probably a little more advanced, but I remember like some of my first rhymes. So corny, but like.
Yeah, what were you rapping about?
I understood how rap worked. I was like, I'm a lyrical magician. The mic's my magic wand. I flow like a river. You flow like a pond.
Oh,
and
shit.
when I said flow like a pond, I was like, I get rap. I understand. I understand how it works. You flow like a pond. So like corny, but like I get it.
Yeah. You know? And so, okay, so you start rapping.
That was my first bar like ever.
Oh, really?
But I used to rap in the shower incessantly.
Yeah.
And I would bang on the wall as my beat. So like,
yo, well, how old are you?
What, 34.
34, okay, so I'm 30. But you were, I mean, I'm sure they were doing that, because I was in middle school, you were in high school at that point. I mean, I'm sure you remember when Grinded came out and everybody was in the cafeteria making that beat on the table and shit, and everybody rapped to that.
I went to Northwest Yeshiva High School, man. I went to a Jewish religious high school.
They weren't fucking with clips out there?
I was.
Yeah.
And like my crew that I had put on to it, but like there was no like cypher going on.
Damn, man. Oh, those were good times, bro. When that beat came out, everybody thought they could be a rapper.
Yeah. But that was my
Yeah, that was your vibe. Yeah,
that was the beat that I could produce for myself.
I got you. So okay, so you rap for your dealer. He's like, yo, we're gonna make some money together. Where do you go from there? Because it's like
my second real rapping occurrence. So that I'm very Jewish as we're getting into, but like my cousin used to run like the JCC events, like the Jewish Community Center.
Okay, word.
And he was like, I think we want to do a rap battle. And I was like, sign me up. So, they could only come up with 3 rappers.
Yeah.
So it was like me, this guy from the community who was like a little older. He was probably like 30.
Yeah.
No, not 30, but like 25.
Yeah.
Like 16. And then they had to go get some other guy.
Mm-hmm. Was there like a limit on what you could talk about?
Nah.
No, they were just like, yo, just say whatever.
They didn't say that, but I didn't ask. And I was like, there's no way I'm censoring myself when I rap like the first time on stage. So anyways, the other kid who was rapping, he was nice. His name was Phil. Filthy Phil at the time. Word. That's not a bad name. And he already had like a music video out and stuff. And he was like I saw that and was like, this is the older dude. No, this guy's like, was a year younger than me. Okay. But he was like, I think he was like signed to some little indie record label, and I hadn't done anything like, I did not understand like making a song or like hard work or like, you know, I was just, I don't say I was a fuck up, but like I wasn't doing much, you know? Yeah. Well, you started smoking weed? Yeah, smoking weed, drinking, smoking cigarettes, playing basketball. Yeah. That didn't really go together very well, but like those are things I took seriously at the time. Yeah. Anyways, they gave me the ringer in the first round. So the ringer being the person they brought in. Yeah. But I got him. I like fair and square, like he was like from like some like hip hop community center thing, which like whatever that means, you know?
Yeah.
But he was wearing like a sweater vest with like a collar underneath.
Yeah. Okay. Word.
But that was like a thing you could do then. He wasn't like he was like I think he was like a Filipino guy or something. And I made some reference to him being from like his crew being J Crew.
Yeah.
And he was like, done.
Yeah.
And then.
And how many people were in the crowd for this? Was it like
I want to say thousands, but it was probably like 30. I don't know.
30, yeah.
No, maybe a little more.
Yeah.
Because it was the end.
Parents and shit too?
No,
or
it was like
kids?
a weekend retreat, just kids.
Word.
Parents would have been. It was like a weekend retreat.
Word. Okay.
For the kids, and it was like the entertainment.
Yeah.
So then anyway, so Phil handles the other guy because Phil was nice, and then that's when I really became a rapper. Something took over my soul.
Yeah.
And I just like blacked out on him. Like blacked out. Like he remembers it now. Like we
you still talk?
Recently.
Yeah.
So I felt like, and my first like girlfriend was there.
Yeah.
Know? It was like it was a good moment.
Word. Hell yeah.
The ride home in the Plymouth Voyager was like.
Word. And how far or how long in between that into the time where you're like, fuck it, I gotta record a song?
So long.
Long time?
Yeah.
It was kind of, you were still doing, were you doing any more like, you said you were rapping with your friends and shit, but did you do any more like local kind of like community center shows or anything like that?
No. So I got rapped a couple times on record. Not really on record, like recording over instrumentals because someone had like some like USB mic or something.
Yeah.
You know? But I didn't do any real music until after college.
Okay. Damn, after college? For real?
I went to college. I studied journalism and political science, and I was like, so that's when I got sober, like before college. So then when I went to college, I was like super laser focused, like summa cum laude, you know, like on it. So I was just like, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew like I had to be a workaholic now because like I couldn't do anything else. And then I was at my first job, and I started like getting the itch to like really rap. And I had one friend, Kyle Raps.
I'm familiar with the name. Yeah.
So he's a really good friend of mine, and he was a rapper.
Okay.
And he had a song with KRS-One, and he had a song with like Homeboy Sandman. And he was doing like real shows at like Southpaw and stuff. So like he was the only like real rapper that I knew.
Yeah.
But I saw that it was like possible. You know, I think a big part of this is just like you have to like
believe it can happen.
In action. So I just told him, I was like, I think I want to like rap like for real. He's like, okay, if you're serious, like come over and I'll record you. And so I went over there the next week and I recorded like 3 songs, like 3 whole songs. The first time I was like, and that was my first mixtape, was called Crack. And I just had all these like rhymes and thoughts in my head from all the years. So like the mixtape came out in like a few months. I had like 10 songs. And I was
Word.
Like, okay.
What was the response to it?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It was very raw. I don't think the music was very good, but the response was good because it, you know, when like somebody comes into a lot of people do things, you know, and like when someone does it, and it's clearly like
you can tell there's something
really
there. Yeah.
Like then it's like people get excited, you know.
Word.
So that was my first project, and then my very next project was one with Mishka.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, because is Mishka still around?
They're around, but they're not like...
Because they used to have a store right next to, like, Kid Super, right? Wasn't it, like, right down there on that kind of block?
I don't think they have a physical location. They're, like, in Zoomies.
Oh.
And, like, not fucking with rappers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's so... I mean, that's crazy, though, to go from...
I shouldn't say that. I don't know what they're doing. But I don't see them, like, putting out...
That's what I'm saying.
I don't... their blog.
I don't see any of their clothes or anything anymore. I feel like the only people who else I saw, like, representing Mishka were, like, the dudes from... that one dude from Workaholics. Like, he was heavy in that. They were, like, pushing him a lot.
Mean, when they pushed me, like, Mishka was popping.
That's what I'm saying, because it was, like, you go from dropping, like, your first mixtape to, like...
Esquire's project.
Yep.
Which was a crazy project. And, like, Das Racist stuff. Young Lean. They ended up putting out Kyle Rap shit with Hefner Guap. I threw a little alley-oop.
Yeah.
Since he hooked me up.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy to go from a first mixtape, like, actually...
they put out World's Fair stuff, too, I think.
World's Fair, shit. Look, that group,
I think they did. They definitely were, like... had their hand in like all the alternative like underground New York.
Yeah, because I was just saying, because you go from a mixtape to that, like that was like a big scene in New York, like during the early time. And I know you remember that time, like early 2013, 2014, like the scene in New York was just like totally different. It was a magical
Totally
time.
different, yeah.
It was a magical time for real. Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to be like a nostalgic old person, like, being like, but like, it was different, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you get to Mishka, and then where does the collective come into play? The Flatbush collective, kind of the inner city kids thing.
So so once I decided, since I'm like the workaholic type, once I decided to really rap, I was like on it.
Yeah.
And I was like going to open mics by myself. Like,
did you ever
like
go to any of
job.
those Vans open mics? Remember when Vans used to do like the open skate on Wednesday? And it was like open skate, and then they also had like the room where you could sign up for open mics and shit.
I might have been over my open mic stage by the time that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what year that was, but like when I first started,
yeah,
I had never done a real show by myself. I was like, well, I just have to go do open mics.
Mm-hmm.
This is like what I would tell people to do.
Yeah.
So I went to one that was in Harlem, just because it's so random. Just my friend who I worked with at the Sock Man. It was like a store where we sold socks.
Yeah. It's in the East Village, right, or something?
Yeah. He was like, you should go to this open mic. I know these kids in Harlem have some cool stuff going on. And there was a guy named Nice in Harlem.
No.
He's that guy on the scene. I don't know him, but he had an open mic, and I was rapping, and A$AP Rocky was there rapping.
Word.
Like, this is like right before he blew up, and there was Joey and Jonah. Two guys from ICK were there, and they're like, "Oh, you're dope."
Yeah.
And I stayed in contact with them, and then I ended up from this other open mic I was doing in Queens, which was like at a coffee shop, and it was all comedians, and like singer-songwriters, and then I get up and do like some really vulgar, like, like really just like scream at them in this coffee shop. They'd be like, "Oh, it's good." So, but there was somebody there who took note of the fact that like it was pretty good, and they gave me like this residency in the financial district at this venue, so like do a show once a month. So I didn't know that many people, and I met Jonah and Joey, so I was like, you guys want to put your people on?
Yeah.
So they put like the inner city kids that were at that point. So we did a show together, and then they're like, do you want to just do this with us? And I was like, yeah.
Well, fuck it, yeah. That's cool. Because I got put onto them through Brooklyn College, like when I went there. I don't think Spaceman lived in the dorms with us, or did he at some point?
I don't think so.
I forgot how I got introduced to Spaceman, and then I got introduced to Trevor. I think it's Trevor's, right? Trevor Watts. Trevor.
Think Watts.
Yeah, Think Watts. Yeah. His name's Trevor, though, right?
Yeah, but he used to get mad at me when I call him Trevor on stage by accident.
Yeah, I remember them. I remember AB Gohard. AB was my favorite, I think, out of the group.
Mine too.
Yeah, he's so fucking dope. I follow him on Instagram still. He disappeared for a long time, and then I don't know. He just like randomly was on
Twitter
there.
though, I think.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a Twitter.
Gotta know where to look.
Yeah. So you get into that whole collective thing, and what happens from there? Like you guys start kind of rocking as a crew and doing shows together. Or?
Yeah, I mean it was like doing shows and doing videos together and doing songs together.
Yeah.
I feel like at the time it was like very much a crew-oriented scene.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Which I think is dope. And it kind of allowed people to build in a different way. Because you had, like, if you put it in a pyramid, it was like, okay, you had, like, A$AP Mob, who, like, really had tentacles, like, all over. Like, they knew people. Like, they were really out here. They didn't just, like, they weren't, like, industry plants.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's, like, Flatbush Zombies.
Underachievers.
Pro-era. And then Joey Badass kind of, like.
Yeah.
And even, like, Action, Esquire, a little, like, less connected. But then you have, like, World's Fair, Tan Boys.
Damn, Tan Boys, I haven't heard.
Fucking, and then it was like ICK.
Yeah.
I feel like there's also like Tribe Gang from Staten Island. Who
Yep, I know Manolo. Manolo and I went to college together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I know a couple of those guys. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of crew things going on.
There was SRSG, the
Black
Stone,
Dave and them. Yeah.
And like William Wilson.
There was, yeah. I saw Wilson like maybe a couple weeks ago. I saw him at a bar just like chilling. I was like, yo, like I haven't seen this man in years.
It's cool. It's cool. There's just like, so when somebody did something with somebody, it could help elevate.
Yeah.
Like, I swear, a lot of the reason why I got on like Noisy and Hypebeast and stuff was like really because ASAP blew up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like indirectly, because they're like, what's going on in New York now?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I saw you. I was scrolling through your Instagram the other day, or it was yesterday or something. And I was just like looking at your posts and stuff, and I saw you posted about that ASAP mixtape, the Rocky mixtape or whatever, and how that changed kind of like everything.
For a long time, I didn't even really like talk about that.
Yeah.
Because it felt like dick riding or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like, whatever, I'm over it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, old enough, I can say like that's what happened.
Yeah. No, it was a crazy moment.
Yeah.
And that comes from. That's not from the time you met him when you said you met him first, right?
That's the only time I ever met him?
That's the only time you ever met him. Okay. Because I thought
that's not true. I saw him like one other time.
Yeah. Now, do you still keep in contact with a lot of the guys, a lot of members from Inner City Kids, or?
No, not really.
No? Yeah, no. Spaceman. I used to fuck with Spaceman. I was going through your guys' old YouTube videos. I was like, damn, he doesn't put anything out anymore.
He put out a project, I think. I don't know. It's not like I don't have any bad blood.
Yeah.
Like people, you know what I mean? Like people have kids. Like people start their brands. People do their thing.
It's hard to keep a crew together, like when, especially like during a time where everybody's kind of like figuring out where they're going individually. You know what I'm saying? So then when you started getting like, everybody started getting their own like attention in certain ways, and you know, it's just hard to keep people together, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think like crews are fun, and I think they can work to like, I think they work better in that initial stage where it's like, if you have 10 people affiliated with you and you need to like show that you have a movement, like it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because they're going to bring 4 people each, and if they're kind of popular kids, and then like everyone knows who you are.
Yeah.
But like once you reach a certain place where you like have some momentum, then that like local thing still matters, but it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
And then you have like, I don't know, that it's like really hard to be like a professional rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to be like, so you see a lot of these crews, like there's kind of one person who breaks through, and then you see who like understands what it takes to, you know, and like, that's just that.
So, okay, so that whole thing kind of like, you know, everybody kind of goes their own ways or whatever with Inner City Kids. What were the next steps for like music? Cause
that wasn't even about ICK. That's just like in general, all these crews.
Yeah, but like when all that ended and kind of everybody went their separate ways and you were kind of just doing music by yourself, what was that process like? Did it feel weird coming out of like a collective and being back by yourself?
No, because I mean, I was always like a solo artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like, no, not really. I mean, if you look at like, I think there was like, no, like I was always like doing it mostly like myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and then
if you just look at the features and the production, like I was kind of everywhere.
Yeah. And what was, because you guys, the collective never came out with a tape, right?
We were going to, it never came out.
Never came out? Okay, word. Yeah, because
I definitely like, working with Kamal was big because he's a great producer.
Yeah.
And we kind of continued after that.
You guys are still working together?
Haven't for a while.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. And so what's up with the music now? Like, because we're going to get into what kind of shit you're working on now, but oh, wait, okay, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. What was, I was trying to think of the name, what was the distribution service that you were using through, that was connected with Mass Appeal? Deacon, right?
Deacon and Mass Appeal were like the same company.
Yeah. Do you remember, what do you ever do? Remember I gave you, I was working for Mass Appeal at one point. I've been meaning to ask you. That's why I was like trying to think through what I was like, forgetting what I was saying there for a second because I was like trying to remember. What mixtape was it? What was it? I remember
Potential Fans.
That's the name of the mixtape? Okay, word. Because I know the song is Potential Fans. But I remember I found literally like a stack of like all the old mixtapes that you had, and I gave them to you. I remember at one point.
Oh,
yeah. Whatever happened with those? Did you ever like keep any of them, or do you still have one? Or because that was years ago.
Somewhere. I sold those.
Yeah. Word. Hell yeah.
Like Potential Fan restock.
Yeah.
People bought them.
Yeah.
That was probably my most popular project.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because like platforms change and numbers change, but like Merc potential fans or C Red, I think. C Red.
Yeah. C Red. Okay. And what was the project? Because didn't you release another project after Potential Fans?
I released a lot of projects.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
It was Crack, Merc, You Wouldn't Know, Homeless, Off the Ground, C Red, Raw Every Day, and I'm missing some. I had more projects than that.
Word.
But,
Let's tap into like the whole like touring process, because ever since, I mean, the whole pandemic's been going on for 2 years now, but I used to see you do a lot of shows like overseas. Tell me about like the fan base that you have over there, because I feel like everybody kind of knows, like, or I feel like it's well known within like the industry that like a lot of these like European fans tend to be like more of a fan.
Better?
Yeah, they're better. Yeah, they're better fans. Yeah. Talk to me about that experience, and like, when's your next plans to kind of go back overseas, and where are your favorite cities to perform and shit out over there?
Yeah, I mean, basically my overseas career is like France, and French-speaking countries around us, so like France, Belgium, Switzerland. I even have fans in like Morocco and Algeria and Tunisia and stuff, like French-speaking North Africa. Yeah, I think the first thing that happened, well, first, yeah, they just generally, they love underground rap, and they love underground culture, and they love New York culture. So if something like has a New York aesthetic, like, it has a good chance of doing well.
Yeah, they're on it.
But beyond that, I think it was after I put out Merc, that mixtape. There was a festival called B Street, and it was really like, I wasn't like, I kind of just started. It was like my second mixtape ever.
Yeah.
But they wanted to bring me out there to perform. I was not ready, but I did it. And they put like a 5-page spread in this like magazine. And I think Underachievers performed also.
Okay.
And, like Reggie Snow.
Damn, Reggie Snow. Doesn't he go by like a different name now or something? I don't know. I feel like I remember he goes by a different name. My bad. I didn't mean to.
No problem. I feel like all the people who blew up on the blogs still have their own lane, but you don't hear about them because there's no common place for them to be heard about.
Yeah.
So it just like seems like they fell off, even though they're like touring and like bigger than they ever were.
Yeah.
So I think Reggie Snow is like popping, but I think he's still Reggie Snow. But anyways, he did that. Maybe he's not, but he did that show. It was just that era of people, and that kind of got it started. And then they started like playing my music videos on TV out there.
Okay, word. And this is just off the strength of somebody introducing their mixtape, or somebody finding your mixtape.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't do anything.
Okay. Like, yeah, you had like nobody out there that was like, yo, I'm going to play this for somebody. Damn, that's cool. No. Power of the internet, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think once... Sorry.
Oh, I thought that was mine. Okay.
I think once, like... I think it was like the bigger blogs.
Yeah.
Know? I think like they look for that. But yeah, I think they just saw me on like Noisy, and that pretty much saw me on Noisy.
So yeah, what was it like performing out there? You said you weren't ready. So, were you? How do you feel like you weren't ready? You just felt like
I was just mad nervous.
Nervous, word.
And like for me, like I was like, it was hard to like get into it because they asked me to do like an hour set.
God damn.
And like I had 2 mixtapes.
Yeah.
So like, what's an hour of music so they're like, play every song you've ever made.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't perform most of the songs most of the time. So like, or ever, like a lot of them. So why would I play like, the deep cuts from my first mixtape or whatever? So I was like really stretching my catalog.
Yeah, were you doing like a little bit of crowd work and shit?
A little bit, but like I just wasn't like my shows now are like crazy. Like I'm not saying that because like, but like it's 2 things. One, like all my songs before, they used to call me like the monotone.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that phase.
Well, so those aren't good live.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, but they could be if I presented it right. But like I wanted it to be hype.
Yeah.
And like the songs were too slow. So like I was kind of like fighting an uphill battle, and I was just nervous, and I didn't have that many good songs. So like now when I perform, I have like enough songs at a certain speed and a certain level of aggression that like I can like feel comfortable like floating through the set, you know. But this, it was like a struggle. I don't think it was like a struggle. I think they were like, "Oh, good rapping guy," you know. But it wasn't like. Did
it feel like it was like taking forever? Was time moving slow when you were up there, or were you kind of just
it was like usually once I start, like nowadays when I start performing, and for most of my career, like when I start performing, like I'll be nervous before, and then once I start, like I just like lights out, doesn't matter. And there was like too much time to think, and like too many people that I could like see. You know, it's daytime at like a festival.
Word.
Who wants to listen to rap music during the day?
Yo,
you know I mean? I never understand that.
I don't have any experience with that, but I do remember like feeling like that. Like when I used to play baseball in college and high school, it was like, bro, I don't even want to fucking play this game unless it's nighttime. And who wants to play a fucking day game, bro? This shit is boring, bro. Like nobody wants to be outside during the day doing cool shit, you know?
No, I agree. I don't. Maybe like folk music.
That works.
I feel like passive music.
Yeah, just like music you just hear. Yeah, you hear
wants to jump up and down at 2 p.m.
Yeah, for real. All right, so the tours, you doing a lot of French, like over in France, is very popular. I don't want to stick too much on the touring, but I want to switch over because you got a lot of things that you are working on and that you're a part of. The next thing I want to touch base on is what was originally known as the Big Bang Show, which is now 2 and 2 and Friends, which is the podcast with you and J Hart. Mm-hmm. I kind of know how the friendship with you and J Hart started. You know, kind of through this music shit, you guys kind of connected. How did it come to start that podcast, and what was the idea behind the rebranding?
So J Hart started this podcast like a million years ago.
Yeah,
he like started it in France.
Yeah,
I think, and then he moved to the UK and then brought it to New York.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all him. But he was Fifth God was leaving.
Yep,
and he stopped working with Jacina. Whatever, he needed more hosts.
Yeah,
and he was just kind of like talking to me about it, and I was thinking like. Because I've been doing the Monday Night Raw thing. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yeah.
Where I was doing like music reviews once a week, and I was like getting a lot of like traction from people there, like building a big like email list, and was like, oh, like maybe there's. I was always afraid to do stuff like that before. I was always like, I'm a rapper. If I do anything else, then I'm giving up on rap, and like my brand is tarnished. It's just like stupid, you know. Like it's not really how things work in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of realized, like, oh, I don't look like less of a rapper if I have a
podcast.
Yeah,
it's just another avenue that you can.
To me, there was a time when I thought that you were less of a rapper if you had like other avenues, you know. Which is like just not how things work anymore. You know, like more is more. It's not like you can't live off mystique. Like nobody cares.
Yeah.
So anyways, and it just sounded like an interesting thing to do. Like. I like talking to artists.
That's what I was going to say. Outside of recording and being in a studio recording music, was there any time where you thought about doing, you know, like, because you said you went to school for journalism. So I went to school for television, radio communications, but I started off in journalism. I switched over. But like, was there any idea of like having a show for yourself or before you guys met? Was that ever an idea in your head that you wanted to do something like that?
No, I think I was stuck on like, I'm doing the art stuff.
Yeah.
But also, I always thought of myself more as like a writer, because I thought of writing articles, but I didn't think of doing a podcast. But I realized during Monday Night Raw that like I liked talking to people, and like I kind of always thought that I was like too low key to like carry a show or something, or like, and then I realized like, oh, there's a place for that. Right?
And if you've built up a fan base to where you have now, like, you know, people are gonna tune in, you know, people are gonna ask questions. It kind of like flows with itself once you have that solid base. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, anyways, the podcast too, or the show with J Hart. Yeah, it's on Represent Radio, so it's like actually on FM in London. Which is cool and gives us some like cachet and allows us to like reach out to bigger guests.
Yeah.
We've had some really dope people. Also, I just like, at this point in my life, like I'm trying to be of service, you know, and like I do think that if I can like give a platform to dope people, like I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
I know that sounds. I don't know if that sounds like bullshit, but it's true.
No, it's for real. Say it's cool. I mean, I have seen some of the guests. I know you've had Chris. You had Chris Rivers on there before, I believe, right?
That was before I was on the show.
Before you were on the show? Okay. Now, I saw the one, you have the bikers, the recent one, it was with the bike BMX team? Was it a BMX team?
No, so we've had a few dope guests recently, but we had Public Housing Skate Team.
Skate Team, that's what it is. Okay.
Their brand, have you seen their brand?
I checked it out. I did it. It looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, they're they're going to be huge.
Well, I clicked their link or their Instagram page and checked it out. Their shit is dope.
And they were just so low key in the sense that, like, everyone claims that, like, I don't chase things, I just attract. You know, like, everyone says that. And everyone's, like, totally full of shit. Yeah. And, like, they're on that. Like, they know they're cool. Like, shit just comes to them. Word. So I see big things for them. A similar mentality and really, really gifted. We had Mavi.
Mavi, who's Mavi?
He's a rapper. He's blowing up. He just went on tour with, like, Jack Harlow. But he's he works with Earl Sweatshirt and Alchemist.
Did you hear Earl's new project?
No, not
so
yet.
Fucking good, dude.
I didn't listen.
It's so good, bro. I was telling him, I was like, I usually can't listen to more than like one or two Earl Sweatshirt songs back to back, but you can run that project straight through. It's dope.
I mean, I like Earl Sweatshirt a lot.
Yeah.
But Mavi's like a similar vein, but
how do you spell his name?
A little different. Mavi.
Okay, no.
Oh yeah, you're asleep. He's like,
I'll check him out.
Fire. We had like Lou the Human on recently. Like, he can rap his ass off.
So do you guys focus mostly on like musicians, like musical artists for you guys' show, or like what's like the?
No, we had this guy Like a Machine on Instagram, who's like a Fuji sponsored photographer. Okay. And he just made a book like about 2020, just like. He's a street photographer, but like the whole pandemic, he was just like
documenting shit
in Alphabet City, just like taking pictures of people outside, and like it's cool. We had Adrian Young.
Okay, I know Adrian Young.
Who's like pretty serious, musician. We had I think Jeff Chang and Davey D. I think they're Jeff Chung.
Who's that? Where are they from?
I'm messing up. I want to make sure I get his name right. But they wrote a famous hip-hop history book. I forgot what it's called. Okay. Nah, I just messed the whole thing up. But anyways, they were really dope. We had Kish Cash. Do you know Kish Cash?
Nah, you're dropping a whole bunch of people I'm not familiar with. And I feel like I'm like always on top of shit too.
He's from London. And he's like one of the biggest sneakerheads in the world. Okay. But I know him personally. He's just like the coolest guy. Yeah. Like, if you come to London and you're dope, like Kish Cash like basically meets you at the airport and just like takes you everywhere and shows you everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's like a cultural ambassador. Yeah, man, I don't know. We had Chuck Strangers.
Okay, yeah, I know Chuck.
He's dope.
Who is like, who are some like like ideal guests that you'd like to have on here? You know, like on your show. Like, if you could have anybody, like two people you could think of off the top of your head, that if you had anybody, no matter what, like you could just get them on the show, who would you want to talk to?
The truth is, I'm just gonna start mentioning people that people never heard of. Yeah, I'm not really interested in interviewing famous people.
Yeah, I got you. It could be anybody, man. Yeah, it doesn't have to be famous.
There's a couple artists. It's funny that you say this because I could probably just DM them on Instagram and be like, "Yo, you want to do the show?" There's one guy named Anton Taylor White, who's an artist in Brooklyn. Okay, he's a painter. He's doing crazy stuff. I'd like to get him. The guy named Antoine Horphy is a French artist who does. I mean, I'm just being selfish. There's just people who just like do paintings that I'm into.
Bro, it could be anybody you want, man.
Yeah, I'm also like, I don't know. I'm interested in politics too. You know, so I might get somebody in that vein. I don't even want to get into politics I don't even want to talk about it.
Trust me, I don't want to either, man. I feel you, because like a lot of the guests on this show have been like creatives of some sort. Like musicians or people who work in like marketing, or we had some guy who does like, who's like a chef. You guess you can consider him a chef. Yeah, he has like his own nut butter that's like super popping now. There's all types of shit. But what I really wanted this show was to be, I don't know if you're familiar with this YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly. Nah, so it's like this dude Mark Loyoda or some shit, Mark Lyotta or something from LA. He's like got a spot on Skid Row, essentially, like like a warehouse or whatever, and he interviews like all types of people, like pimps, homeless people, addicts, like all types of fucking
the
crazy.
show seems a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different. But eventually, like, I wanted to get to a more like a investigative journalism type vibe. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like interviewing like people who live like intriguing lifestyle, like crazy lifestyles. That's where I would like it to be. Like, so if I could interview anybody, it's like, just like, damn. I wish I would have got that dude's number that rapped for me on the fucking in front of the deli. It was this one dude, like a year ago, like rapped for me. Like he saw me in the deli and was like, "Yo, man, what's up?" Like act like he knew me. And he was like, "Yo, man, remember we were talking last week, blah blah." He's like, "Come on, step outside with me for a minute." He started rapping. He had like a fucking, he's like, "Yo, I just got out of prison." He had like a whole fucking scar. He's like a homeless dude. And he just started spitting bars to me. And I was like, "Yo, it's just not that bad, yo." Like, and I was like, he was like, "Yo, man, we gotta talk. And I got his, like, he gave me some like BS Twitter, but there was no, like, I couldn't find it. And I was like, I really want to do shit like that. Like, where it's like people from the neighborhood or people from,
Where was the bodega?
This was over off Woodbine and Central.
Something tells me if you...
Trust me. I looked.
Bodega, you'll find him.
Trust me, bro. I couldn't find him, dude.
That nobody knew.
Well, he said also he is kind of fucked up, but he was like, he was saying he was like, fuck, he was like dying from cancer. He had cancer or some shit, so he might not be around anymore. But I mean, we lived there for like another year after I saw him. I never saw him again. So,
he's
fuck, man, it's fucked up. But yeah, that's where
you're never gonna get your dream interview.
That's my dream interview. The guy from the fucking bodega. All right, cool. It's funny, man, because like there's so many podcasts now. Like, what do you guys just do it? Was there like an ultimate goal for you guys, or is it kind of just like, yo, we just have fun doing this, and it's nice to keep people, we're doing and just continuously putting content out.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of podcasts and there's a lot of like entertainment sources and like gossip and whatever. And I guess for us, it was like kind of just be like the antithesis of like clickbait.
Yeah.
Like it was like we just want to talk to people who are dope and like not like trick them into saying something that's like interesting. Like we just want
to talk,
to hear about that.
Yeah.
And like trust that there's a place for that. And like, and we also both have like very wide networks internationally, but also like in New York. Like we've also had people from Lambs.
Yep.
We had Stevie. Whatever. We've had a lot of people like in the New York scene.
Yeah.
And and then for selfish reasons, like grow our network. You know, like it's a good way to meet people to be like, "Hey, can I do you a favor and put you on FM radio?" Like,
yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
it's like a cooler, easier way to like make a connection with someone.
All right. Yeah, no, it's for me. Yeah, the podcast like started off. It was just like I just wanted something to have for myself, where it was just like felt like I was putting content out, and again, yeah, it was like making contacts and being able to like have like I consider like this like the podcast like a digital resume, right? Yeah. Of like what you can do if you go to the next level, or you know what I mean, shit like that. That's the way I always thought about it.
No, I think that's a smart way to think about it. Also, like I don't know what the podcast is going to be exactly yet.
Yeah,
it's only been a few months. And like I know that I'm interested in like presenting my perspective, and I think that I don't think like I'm not like Einstein, you know what I mean? But I think I have a unique perspective, on music and culture because like I'm not like a pretentious elitist, but I'm also not like a populist egalitarian. You know what I mean? Like I think some shit's good, some shit's not, and like. But I'm also open to artsy shit.
Yeah.
And to raw shit. I just like, I guess I can like, I can't go to a museum with like pretentious foo-foo people who like never listened to a rap song before. But I also just like, need some fine art also.
Yeah.
So like I think that there's a voice there to be had.
Who were some of the artists that you were like really fucking with right now?
Visual artist or music?
Visual and musical.
Honestly, for the last like couple years, I've been listening to a lot less rap.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to do with like the state of the rap game, just has to do with the state of my mental health.
Oh wait, what do you mean about that? What do you mean?
Oh, I just meant like, well,
feel like because
it's fine, but what I mean is like with the pandemic, I feel like even before the pandemic, I was in this place where I like stopped chasing music success. Where I was like getting to that place where I was like, I don't think that I compromised too much, but I definitely like got in this mental state of like, I need to make it, like whatever that means, like whatever place I thought I needed to get to where like everything was gonna like, cascade me into the sunset. And like I kind of started to slow down and be like, what do I actually want to do? And started like taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Part of it was like a spiritual growth. Part of it was like having a very serious girlfriend who became my fiance.
Congratulations again. We spoke about them all.
So I kind of stepped back from, not really from making music, because like I like making music, but like I just like wasn't creating these made up rapper deadlines for myself, and wasn't being like this. I would treat every single song, every single video, every album like it was gonna change my life.
Yeah.
Which is an okay like energy to have to bring to something,
but it's kind of exhausting too.
It's exhausting, and at a certain point, it's not helpful.
Yeah,
because back here, like that's not true anyways. Like I've been doing this for 10 years. You know what I mean? So what happened was I wasn't chasing stuff as much, and then the pandemic came, and it's like you can't chase it because like, nothing's happening, and I couldn't even go to the studio because none of the studios were open at the time. So I started drawing, and like I've always drawn. Like if you saw my desk in school or even at work or anywhere, like
you were a doodler.
There's Post-it notes with drawings all over.
Yeah.
My notebooks got drawings all over. The tables got drawings. Like I draw all the time, but like I never, sort of like my rapping before I started rapping, where like I could rap, but I never made a song. Like, I could draw, but I never like made a drawing.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like who knows? But when the pandemic happened and I couldn't go to the studio, I just started drawing, and then I ended up with some paint markers, and I just started, and no joke, I just started crying.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be painting.
For real?
Yeah. This is the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Ever. Counting music, counting anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, shit.
And
I've just been painting ever since. Like my whole apartment is just like filled with canvases.
Yeah.
And painting like big shit, Yeah,
it's dope. And that's a good transition into talking about your artwork too, because I feel like it's like it started recently and it's already like at a point where it's like, in my opinion, and you gotta break down, like, because I'm not like too crazy in the art world with terms when it comes to styles of art and things like that.
Neither am I, but all.
Try your best. Yeah. It's like I just feel like it just went from like, in the lamest way possible, 0 to 100, like real quick with like the content of your art and how serious you took it. And I feel like I've been, and I pay attention to the posts and I read the comments and see people's reactions, and it seems to me that everybody is like really, really, really fucking with your shit.
Yeah, that's a good review.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like,
put that on my website. Everybody's really, really fucking with this shit.
Yeah, there you go, bro.
I'm really grateful. I was scared at first, because I think when you're doing one thing for so long, being music, I was like, people are gonna think I'm like having a midlife crisis if I start like
painting and shit.
Like, oh, I'm a painter now.
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna be like, hey, you're done.
Yeah,
like you quit.
Yeah.
And I haven't quit, so I was a little scared. So I kind of was just sharing stuff initially with like people I was closer with, people who could give me some like
constructive
support
criticism
rather than like just like internet. Because I definitely got mad people who were like stick to rapping.
Yeah.
Definitely had mad people say that, and those are like the worst type of haters. I just straight block them immediately. Like I'm not I don't care about the hip.
Yeah,
No,
I wouldn't waste it. Yeah,
I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know. And I'm like, because I would get angry. I'd be like, you're so goddamn stupid. Like, you would have told me not to rap in the first place. Too.
Yeah.
Like, I know who you are. But anyways, yeah, I started painting, and I think, like, initially the style was very, like, kind of street, just because that was kind of how my drawing always was. Kind of, like, a lot of writing on it and, like, disturbing figures. And then it, like, moved a little bit more towards, like, I don't want to say Basquiat because, like, obviously he's a legend, but, like, that style of, like, what kind of influences a lot of, like, the hip hop artists, you know, today.
You're starting to see it a lot, like that style. I don't know if you're familiar with this other dude named Hygie. Yeah, Hygie. I met him back in the day off of when I was working at Milk Studios and shit with Trevor, or what's his name? Trouble Andrew, the dude Gucci Ghost or whatever. Okay. And that's how I got put onto his art. And I see like I'm not gonna say I see a lot of similarities because I don't see similarities, but I'm saying like the style of art. That's why I want to like pick your brain. Like, is there like a term like that's what would that style be?
Yeah,
like,
so that is a style. I'm not sure what it's called. But there's definitely. I don't see that as my style.
Yeah,
I see that's like what I was doing initially.
Yeah.
Because that was just like what was native to me. Like when I look at music, like there's rap and then other music. You know what I mean? So I've always been like majority hip hop, basketball, street inspired shit. But yeah, my style. There's guys like that. There's also like Kill Kaiser, who's really dope. Does stuff at Lambs with spray paint. They're like affiliated. There's another guy. Whatever. There's a lot of guys doing stuff like that. That's really dope. For me, I was doing it, and then I realized like I was starting with these figures because it felt like safe. Yeah. Or it felt like show them that you can actually draw or do something they understand, so they'll take your other elements serious. Word. And then at a certain point, I was like, fuck that. Yeah. You know? So my relationship to painting really changed. And at this point, my stuff's like pretty abstract. Yeah. But I'm not satisfied until like it takes some form. And initially, I wasn't satisfied until it took the form of like a figure or an identifiable thing. But now I decide when the forms are complete. Yeah. So like, I mean, I'm really just learning, and my opinions on things like change drastically all the time. But at this point, I'm like kind of figuring out the difference between a figure and a shape. Because they're different, you know. So like, it doesn't have to be an identifiable thing or a person or a place, and it can still have perspective and shading and make you feel like it exists within a world that you understand. Yeah. So that's like kind of where I'm at with it right now, but I'm just like trying lots of stuff, lots of different mediums. Yeah. It's cool. It's an interesting thing that I was just thinking about while you're saying that was like the transition from like being a rapper to communicating with your fans to like now dealing with like art collectors and like learning how to pitch your art. You know what I mean? What's that process like? It's been interesting. Like up until recently, I never like pitched it. You know? Like I was just like, I'm just gonna post it. Like I'm not gonna like try and sell this probably for the same reason that I didn't like make a podcast. You know? Yeah. Like, I'm super cool. Like, you know. But I've had people buy it. At first, people were like, "Oh, how much for that?" And I was like, $300. They're like, "Okay, great." Yeah. And then I talked to some friends who are painters that like raise those prices. Yeah. So I raised my prices significantly. And it changes everything. It changes the people you're around, I would assume too. Like the people that have the ability to purchase higher end products. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the typical consumer doesn't necessarily have like access to your stuff anymore, which is the next step, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean it's hard because like I don't necessarily like that fact, but the truth is like financially, it has to happen. Just doesn't make sense as a painter. So I think like, but I think I could take a double-pronged approach, like two-pronged approach, because for every kid that hits me up like, oh man, how much for a painting, and I know like they don't have the money for a painting. It's like, I have these prints, you know? And like, I think it's about not losing any supporters due to that price jump. And it's also about not pricing your stuff too high, you know? Like, you don't want to like alienate yourself. And you like, you always got to be selling. Yeah. You know? So.
What's your website? Because I didn't see it on your Instagram.
What do you mean, to like buy paintings?
Yeah, to buy paintings.
You just gotta hit me up.
Okay.
Just hit me up.
Gotcha. We'll make sure we tag you on this, of course.
Because the art game is like, I don't really know what's going on yet. I'm not like, I kind of understand the rap game. Yeah. Like, I understand how to buy a feature, you know, get on tour, get fans. Yeah. Make sure fans still like you next year by talking, you know, like, I get it. But like, the art game is like a whole wide world of shit going on. And like, I think like posting my stuff with like the prices on is like not tasteful. Word. Yeah. Well, hey man, it's like, I mean, I know somebody, I'm not going to say their name, but I don't know how, I'm going to sound fucked up. Their paintings fucking suck. Oh, wow. Their paintings fucking suck. Like, they're just like drawing like a painting like a sunset. You know what I'm saying? Like a shitty sunset you would see like in a paint and sip. Yeah. And they're like selling their shit for like fucking $1,000, bro, and like 3 of them are sold. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like, I need to start doing this shit. Is this person famous? No, nobody. Just like, I mean, they're not a nobody. They're my friend. Like, they're a friend, but I'm not gonna say the name. Good friend. But I mean, constructively being critical here. Like, that's pretty constructive. You fucking this shit sucks, man. This shit is not cool, bro. But yeah, man. I guess the cool thing with my painting is like, I'm not even thinking about that stuff. Yeah. Like, I'm thinking about money. Like, I want to sell paintings and make money, but it's from a totally different place. Like, I got to the point with rap where like, okay, what do I want? Like, I want to be on this big tour, and I want to be on this big website, and I want to be affiliated with these big rappers, and like, it's all bullshit. And like, with painting, I've gotten to a place with myself where it's like, what's my vision for it? My vision is like to paint really big shit. Yeah. In like a really big studio. Word. And the world can do whatever the fuck they want with it, because that's just like, and I've never been in that place before. And everyone like says that, like, with me, like, just focused on my art, and I close out the world, and I don't listen to other rappers when I'm making an album and all that shit, and they're all lying. Yeah. And most of them are lying. And like, I was lying when I said it before, and I'm just dead serious. Like, it sounds like I feel like I'm lying. Yeah. But like, I'm not. Like, I just want to paint. And I love painting so much that like. Have you gotten your own studio yet, or is that something you're still working on? Because I remember my fiance needs me to get a studio. Shit's filling up. It's like, because I've been doing a lot of stuff on like 48 by 36. Word. Okay. Which is like, I want to go so much bigger, but it's still big to have like 15 of those in your apartment. You know? Yeah. Now I have a client for my company that I work for. He's a painter, and his like loft is like filled with shit, and I'm like, God damn, it's like stacks of like huge canvases, man. I've been going to my roof now. Word. To paint. I saw that. I saw you spray paint the other day, right? That's kind of therapeutic. I'm about to do this next project. Well, I did a project last week where I worked with this photographer named PJ Lamb. She's really dope, from Hong Kong, but she lives in Paris and New York. And she took the photos, but I painted these really big canvases. The pink and blue ones and stuff? Yeah, I saw that, yeah. Model on there. Yeah, that's cool. It was like so much fun, but I have an extra canvas from that's like way too big to paint in my apartment. It's like the size of this wall. Yeah. I was like, I'm just going to take it up to my roof, and I'm going to paint it, and I'm going to leave it up there. Yeah. And like, what happens? Get it weathered. And shit, whatever happens. Like, that's part of my process, is just like responding. I think people have this idea about imagination that like, that artists be like, okay, I'm gonna paint this giant blue thing with all these green spots, and like, that's not what it is. Like, I don't have much of an imagination like that. Like, I never know what I'm gonna paint. I approach it with an idea, and the process of painting for me is like not about expressing my idea. It's about like getting rid of my ideas because they're wrong. Yeah. And like figuring out what looks best in reality. You know? So you start with your idea, but really to shed it. That's why when you see someone has an idea, you can tell when someone's like, I'm going to paint this idea. It always looks stupid. You know? Like, on an analytical level, like, I don't think we're as good at art as we are, like, just instinctively. And like, that's how my creativity works. I don't know what the point of that was, but like maybe that's interesting people.
Nah, it's
You gotta talk this shit up.
Yeah.
They buy it, you know.
Yo, it's crazy. I've had 2 artists on the show. Ryan Bach, you might be familiar with his stuff. Bachhaus.
I think I saw
It's a lot of black and
episode.
white. It's all black
Yeah.
and white, gray.
He brought a painting with him.
Nah, he brought his doll. He has like this doll named Calvin. It's like
that's different.
full size doll that he brings with him everywhere. He does. You don't. I mean, I know what he looks like, but in all his pictures, he's got a ski mask on. But the other dude who I had on, he had some shit really cool, and that just reminded me like trying to do big things. Like his art is kind of weird. I don't really know how to describe it. It's dope, but he paints a lot of like astronauts and bouquets, like flowers with astronauts and shit. And he recently got commissioned by NASA.
Shit.
Yeah, yo,
NASA.
his fucking painting was floating in space.
Oh wow.
They had that shit. They brought it up on a space shuttle mission, bro.
That's a
and
bucket
like,
list thing.
yeah, yo, his shit was flying in space, bro. And then they auctioned it off. And he sells a lot. His shit is crazy expensive, bro. But it's like, it's crazy. It's shit that you can do, man, with art and like connecting with like what the fuck, connecting with NASA, bro.
That's
My
like,
man, like that's insane, bro. Your painting was flying in space.
I know everyone wants to like collab with Nike.
Yeah, fuck that
I'd
shit.
rather
Let's
collab
get
with
NASA.
NASA.
You get your shit in space, bro. You know what I mean? Have a painting on the first civilization in Mars or something. Have it hanging up in the space room.
That's really trippy to have your art. I bet very limited amount of art has been in space.
Yeah.
Probably more porn has been in space than art.
Who knows, bro? It's crazy. That's just like just imagine saying that. Just like, yeah, my shit's been in space, bro.
Just gotta flip that as an NFT or something.
But you've been messing with like with your art, like you've been messing a lot more with like textiles and stuff like that, right? A lot of
Textiles.
text. Not
I haven't, but
what like you've been? I remember it was like your last post. You were like been messing a lot more with what was it? Shit.
I should remember. What have I been messing with? I've been like taking pictures of different textures.
Mm-hmm. It's this one right here, I think. Or wait, is it this one?
I want to work with textiles because like I want to learn how to sew and like really make crazy stuff.
I thought you were. Damn, you got so much shit on here. I don't know. It said something you've been experimenting with something. I forgot what it was.
I know what you're talking about. So what I've been doing is like, like I said, like my creative process is like starts with something, but it's really just about like how I can react. Like it's kind of like rap, you know what I mean? Like you don't think, at least I don't make conceptual songs where I'm like, here's what the 16 bars are about.
Yeah.
It's like it has to react and respond to the ideas, you know. Yeah, so I've been doing this thing where I've been taking pictures with my phone of like random shit in the city, but also I've been taking a lot of pictures offline.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pictures of like candid pictures of people I find are the best. I don't really like
Posed photos. Yeah, just
isn't the look that I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been dealing with like a lot of nude women, but like I don't want to say like imperfect or something, but just like regular naked women, you know, and like at like a nude beach or something, like just like a situation where like it's not like they're not like posing. Taking that and then I'll print it out on a piece of paper just from my printer, where it's just like a totally regular printer paper, black and white, and then I'll take like Copic markers and put in some like color, and a lot of it I'll like flip it over.
Draw color from the back,
and it's like this is like hint of color and like kind of these like streaks, and then I'll sometimes put some acrylic paint on it. It's like acrylic paint dries really fast and dries really hard, so it's not too messy to just like it won't like destroy the paper.
Yeah.
And then I'll take a photo of it and crop it down to size, and then I'll mess with it digitally, and then sometimes I'll print it out again.
Yeah.
And then mess with that, and then so just like this process. And some of it I'm just like pulling things off my phone. I use like Microsoft Paint 3D a lot because you can use this Magic Select tool, which basically cuts out what they think you want.
Yeah, just trying to drag it around the
But I like
object.
using it in like a very random way.
Okay.
So like I won't even like highlight. I won't even change the crop. I'll just do like what happens when I Magic Select the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, and I'll be like, okay, that part, and then use it and see what happens. So yeah, it's like an ongoing process. I did something the other day that just like sometimes it works on the first go around, you know, like I'm not into the struggle for the sake of the struggle. You know, like if something works immediately, cool.
Yeah.
Usually it doesn't. So yeah, that's like the digital side, but I'm dabbling in like Blender, like the 3D animation stuff.
Okay.
Just learn.
What would you like to? Yeah. What's the idea behind that? Like, what would you?
I have no idea. The idea was like, this seems cool, and I feel like learning shit these days. So like, I'm gonna try that. But to be honest, I know that for me, like, things are gonna have to come back into the physical realm because making digital art is really fun.
Yeah.
Painting is like
better.
It's better. Yeah. Like, it's better.
Yeah. Are you gonna jump in the NFT game with your art?
I haven't. I don't know. Like, I've read so much about it and like listened to so many podcasts about it.
You got to get in that metaverse, dog.
I don't. I'm not techie enough to understand.
I don't get it at all, bro.
But I mean, I get it, and I just think it's at a point, anyways, where it's pretty oversaturated, and you can't just like. I couldn't do any type of like extended money grab. Maybe I could sell like one thing because I have like rap fans.
Yeah.
But I've seen these communities. I've gone into like the Twitter spaces and like you talk to people, and like. I don't want to say anything I'm going to regret, but there's a lot of people who are just totally full of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not a technology expert, but I am a bullshit expert. And like, I can tell that you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, everyone's in these rooms saying like, we're the real NFT people. We're the real community. We don't just do this, you know, for the quick buck.
Yeah. Everybody's got their own little. Haul.
But I went into like 5 different Twitter spaces with like 100 different people in each one. And they all were saying the same exact thing. I was like, So where are these bad guys?
Yeah.
I was like, this seems like a pyramid scheme. But I think that there's probably some prospect of that technology being helpful.
Yeah.
But I don't know. A lot of it, I hear people talk about it, and it sounds like some like libertarian type stuff to me.
Yeah.
That's just my vibe.
Yeah, I've looked into it, but I feel like one thing I
watch me selling NFT like that.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I heard, the one thing that stuck with me the most about people talking about starting NFTs is like, one, you gotta, if you're gonna start an NFT, you gotta be willing to put time in it for years. Like it's like a long haul thing. And then 2 is that shit. Just fucking forgot what I was about to, just slipped my fucking mind. Okay. I got it. No. Nah. The one of the main things that people said about starting NFTs is like, if you don't have like, not necessarily like a core group following or like the presence on a community that's gonna buy your shit, it's like there's no point. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they'll buy it from each other.
Yeah.
So they're like, I've talked to people like, oh, so you gotta like go in and like support people, and then like they'll end up supporting you. I was like, this sounds like doing local rap shows. Like that's not an economy.
Yeah.
Like I don't want, but there's obviously some money in it.
Yeah. Shout out Doge. All my shit's down. Dogecoin is down. All that shit, bro. Are you in stocks or anything like that?
No, I'm still trying to figure out regular money.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
I feel you. I'm not. I'm barely in it, bro. I just like know a little bit of shit. I buy stocks for shit that I use, like Apple. You know what I'm saying? Like things that I'm like.
Sounds like a good bet.
Yeah, you'd be all right with Apple. You know what I mean? Yeah. But okay, so is there going to be any new music before we get out of here? Should people expect any new music soon?
I got a new song next week, January 28th. I don't know when this is coming.
Is that this will come out either? It'll be before the 28th because this is coming out by Wednesday, the latest.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, quick turnaround.
Yeah, I mean it's one camera, man. You know what I mean? Very simple, cut and paste. I'll send you some clips that you can post and leave it at that. But so the 28th is a new song coming out. What's that shit? What's it called?
It's a collab between me, Urban Architects. Do you know Urban Architects?
It sounds familiar, but I don't want to say like I don't.
They're dope. They're kind of bringing that like 2013 New York energy.
Okay.
They're a little younger and like they're dope.
Are you familiar with them? Urban Architects?
From Queens and Long Island.
Okay.
But I did a whole project with them and Jay Hart.
Okay, word.
And
hell yeah.
Like, you should play one of the fucking songs.
Yeah. Is it? Where can I find it?
It's not out yet.
Yeah, you can get an exclusive listen. This is the first. I think this is the first time we ever played something that's unreleased. Let me make sure I put this up. So yeah, just introduce the song real quick, and then whenever you're ready to play it, it's good to go.
I'm gonna give you like a super. This isn't even the one that's coming out next week. I'm gonna give you the next one.
Okay.
Just because I confident this is the final mix.
Bruh.
It's so good to work with J Hart, like to work with a producer when you're like, oh, I don't have to fucking deal with any of this mix. And
Yeah. He does everything. He's on point. He's on point.
Yeah, this shit's pretty hard.
All right. We'll let this rock for a little minute here.
Aaron Cohen, we out here. J-Hart, you ready for this? Let's get it, kid.
New York don't care about balance. New York,
How old are these kids?
don't care about talent. We
Early
got
mid-20s, I'm not
folks with Grammy nods and trust funds.
It's me, though.
That knows, yeah.
Times Square, we tantalize. Bright lights, we fantasize. Me, I overanalyze till my mind is vandalized. And I've been a lot of things, but I never been lazy. See it in my eyes, I ain't trying to be McGrady. Nah, I ain't leaving in the first round. Life is cold.
Yeah, you always got the sports references. I mean, what's that old track, Nick Van Axl Rose? The classic. That shit was good.
Too many rappers and not enough to narrow. Why I'm about my brand like Vieira. Why I'm in the field like Sarah O'Connor. Queens College, my alma mater. Summa cum laude, yeah, I should have been a scholar. Yeah, we make them forfeit. Check 1 for that money, 2 for that raw shit, 3 for the monies in the summer looking gorgeous. We scorch shit.
His voice sounds familiar.
He's got a good voice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got it. Yeah.
We make them forfeit. Yeah. We make them forfeit. Check 1 for that money, 2 for that.
And this isn't the one that's coming out next week. You said this is some.
I can play that one too if you want.
Up to you, man. Whatever you want to do.
Make them forfeit.
A fly jackal that might tackle a slight hassle.
So this guy's like the
drug deals at White Castle.
more like abstract 30 rap guy.
Yeah.
Black Kush, he's fucking sick though.
His name's Black Kush. Yeah, I like his voice, his flow better than the first. I mean, I like the first guy's flow, but this is more like my shit.
You hear what he said? We're in the open like drug deals at White Castle.
Bro.
Hell's here, so I'm Mac Miller with the self-care. Any course, see you crying for the pennies lost. Plenty sauce, set it off, glowing like it's semi-gloss. You can is cold, but I'm Kente Cloth. Demented boss, called his mom and she said he's soft.
1 for that money, 2
Well, this is just the hook. His verse is crazy too.
Yeah?
Alright.
There's 3 of them though.
Gotcha. I wish this could go a little louder.
We make them forfeit. Check 1 for that money, 2 for that raw shit, 3 for the monies in the summer looking gorgeous. We scorch shit. Put a $150 on the Porsche, it's exhausted. Make them forfeit.
Yeah, I'm making moves, brink of dawn till 4 in the morning. Gray coupe, or I got these shorties trailing like Oregon. All it take is a few lines to touch a curve like tangents.
How'd you meet these guys?
He had him on the Big Bang Show.
Word.
And then I was like,
Let's do some shit.
I got my cake up. Mama telling me change my ways and wake up. I overslept. Lot to say, won't hold my breath. Close to death, my soul don't stress. Solar plex flexing. North face, Gore-Texans, black Porsches, polar horse obsessions. Had
Yeah.
the Bible, no confessions. Laugh at my rivals, grab your weapons, kid. I told my homie get the grip. He rather
Yeah, you're right. They're like, yeah, this is like on that, like early, not early New York shit, because it's fucking 2013, but like that vibe, yeah.
play one more, but yeah, I just like it felt rejuvenating to me, you know?
Yeah.
To make some like New York shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a tough balance. Like you don't want to make shit that's like too corny, you know, like too like.
Yeah,
There's,
I know what you
certain
mean.
boom bap pieces that don't sound right.
Yeah.
But these ones do.
This is the one that's coming
Yeah,
28th.
Friday 28th. Anyone but me. Aaron Cohen, Urban Architects.
All
J.
right.
Hart.
This has them on it too.
What?
The Urban Architects on
Yeah.
this one too. Okay.
Whole project.
Got. Oh shit. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I had to get it on my lonesome. Cause I never got a cosign from no one. You see my father, yeah, that's where I got my flow from. You see my mother, yeah, that's where I got my glow from. Hard work, no fun, that's where I got my dough from. In the dark, study art like a shogun. Still swinging swords, still fuck you like in the course. Bitch, I've been a force to reckon with on my lethal weapon shit. More Danny Glover than Donald Glover. When I take aim at you stupid motherfucker, you see what the kid done did in the past last
Yeah,
year.
this one's hard.
Appreciate the love,
Yeah,
but I coulda
this
used
one's
it
good.
last year when I was downtown working as a cashier. I'm too good for that minimum fee. I quit my job.
Fuck
so
minimum
my
wage.
boss, he could work for me.
So my manager was my boss.
Oh, word.
So my job to my boss. He worked for me.
I don't see what anyone could see in anyone but me. I don't see what anybody could see in anybody but me. I don't see what anyone could see in anyone but me.
Where you residing, kid, is Queens and Long Island.
Yeah, we'll let this verse rock. And this would be everybody will just be able to find this on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever. Anything, anywhere they can find Aaron Cohen at. 2 A's. No E.
Now we flowing so nice while we hold mics are lost. Low life to the main stage, kid, it's showtime. Yeah. Showtime.
Word. Yeah, that shit is dope, man. Yo, man, that seems like the best way to end this show, man. That's literally, like I said, that's the first time we gotten some unreleased music on the show, so appreciate it. Thank you for that. I'll make sure I'll send you clips of that so you can give your fans a little preview too as well, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Yo, Aaron, thank you for coming through, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I will catch you around, all right?
Yeah.
All right.